marriages, 2 divorces, 1 success. First marriage, 23 years old, breakup after 3 years. Second marriage, 27 years old, breakup after 6 months. Third marriage, 31 years old.
Hello lovely students, and welcome back to English with Lucy. I have the mother of all vocabulary videos for you today. When we say the mother of something, it means the biggest or the best example of something, the most important. In this video, you are going to learn 250 advanced new vocabulary words with pictures. So this is going to be amazing if you are a visual learner. I'm a visual learner. I like seeing things and knowing the words, making the connection in my brain. What is more, I have created an ebook for you to have as part of this lesson. It's going to contain all of the pictures, all 250 words, with 250 examples and extra exercise questions. You might be able to tell that I'm pretty excited about this. For now, I have made the decision to offer this ebook for free, so you can download it today for free and use it to study with whilst watching this video. But this is subject to change. Subject to change means this could be changed, so I highly recommend you download your copy now. If you would like to download this free ebook, all you've got to do is click on the link in the description box, you enter your name and your email address, you sign up to my mailing list, and the ebook will then arrive directly in your inbox, and you will join the PDF club. This is a free service and you can unsubscribe at any time, but you will automatically receive my free weekly lesson PDFs going forward, along with all of my news, course offers, looking to expand your vocabulary, to take what you already know and make it bigger and better, to make yourself feel and sound more intelligent by using a wider vocabulary. I do have a special offer on at the moment. I run a 30-day course called the Vocabulary Expansion Challenge. I won't explain too much about it now, but it's amazing, and my students have had phenomenal results. I'm offering it with a special price at the moment. Click on the link in the description box. You'll see the special price and the code you can use. There you can see the course, our method for expanding your vocabulary, and just all the amazing videos and audios and mind maps that it contains. It's one of my favorite courses because of the results that it gives so quickly. Hurry, as it's going away pretty soon. I'm going to break this video into categories. I'm going to show you a picture and we're going to discuss 3 synonyms for what is shown in that picture. Let's start with category number 1, emotions. Something we all have, unless a robot is watching this, which, I mean, it's possible. So we're going to look at the photo, we're going to think of the word that describes how the person is feeling in that photo, and then we're going to discuss 3 more advanced alternatives. First photo. How would we describe this person? I think angry, but we have 3 better alternatives. Firstly, we have enraged. Enraged. Tom became enraged when the agent couldn't solve his problem. We also have furious. Furious. He was already furious and couldn't help but yell into the phone. Furious. Finally, livid. Livid. This is the top level of anger, the most extreme form of anger. The agent's response to his problem only made him more livid. We've all been there, haven't we? Calling customer service and they just aren't helping. Okay, next, let's look at this photo. Oh dear, she's sad. We have melancholy. Melancholy. Now, melancholy refers to the feeling of sadness, but often with no obvious cause. An example, Maria had been feeling melancholy since graduating college. We also have glum. Glum. This is like feeling down. She could not shake the glum feeling. And sorrowful. Sorrowful. She was sorrowful and felt so alone. If you are sorrowful, you are full of sorrow, which is a kind of advanced, slightly old-fashioned word for sadness. Well, lots of people can relate with Maria. We often do feel that sort of melancholy sadness after finishing a big chapter of our lives. What do we do next? Okay, next we have someone looking at some fireworks. Here we're going to describe how the fireworks make that person feel. An obvious word is interesting. The fireworks are interesting. They capture my interest. But we could also say mesmerizing. Mesmerizing. Ah, what a gorgeous word. The fireworks were mesmerizing. It was her first winter in her new town. The fireworks of the winter carnival were mesmerizing. Another equally beautiful word, captivating. Captivating. It captures your attention and your interest. She stood there, frozen in their captivating beauty. And finally, another gorgeous one, spellbinding. Spellbinding, as if it binds you or freezes you with a magic spell. She went home that night replaying the spellbinding events of that evening in her head. Next, we have this girl here. She doesn't look happy, does she? In fact, she looks bothered or in a bad mood. A nice synonym for this is grumpy. Grumpy. And if you like Disney films, this is the name of one of the dwarves from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The one who is always in a bad mood is grumpy. Kim claimed she wasn't grumpy despite her obvious body language. We also have crabby. Crabby. Think of a crab. They're not exactly friendly, are they? They could pinch you a bit. Pinch you. I wasn't sure if it was the lack of sleep that made her crabby or something I had done. And finally we have cranky. Cranky. And this is usually grumpiness or a bad mood due to a lack of sleep. We took a quick walk along the canal and I could see that she was no longer cranky. Quite the opposite, we have this person. I often feel the same when I see piles of leaves. Happy. Happy. But we have some better words. Cheery. Cheery. In a good mood. The leaves had begun to fall and a cheery mood swept in with the autumn breeze. We also have elated. Elated. If you're so happy about something, you are elated. Brenda was elated by the sights and smells in the park. I do love the smell of autumn. And gleeful. Gleeful. Do you remember sorrowful? Full of sorrow. Gleeful. Full of glee. Happiness. The beauty of autumn made her gleeful. Okay, we have a little boy hiding under his bed. He is feeling afraid. Afraid. We have some better words for this little boy. We have fearful. Fearful. Full of fear. Fearful. Jerry is very fearful of thunder during storms. It's funny, I was afraid of thunder as a child and now I love it. We have alarmed. Alarmed. This is like a sudden fear. Almost the fear you feel when a fire alarm goes off. You feel alarmed, suddenly scared and worried. He gets extremely alarmed and likes to hide behind his bed for safety. And rattled. Rattled. This is like the shock that you feel after having been scared. We try to calm him, but warbled. These can be personality traits or traits of activities and situations. The first picture. These people are friendly, but we could also say sociable. Sociable. My dad has always been a sociable guy. He likes talking with other people. He likes interacting. You can be friendly whilst not being sociable. You could say hello to someone warmly, but not stop for a chat. We also have tender. Tender. This is more kind, warm. He has a tender way of dealing with people and makes friends wherever he is. And finally, quite a posh, formal word in my opinion, affable. Affable. Friendly, good-natured, easy to talk to. He's affable and caring, and I'm proud to call him Dad. Okay, let's think about how this person feels. Their situation is boring. Boring. But the word boring is boring, so let's think of some more interesting alternatives. We have dull. dull. Now, if you think of the word dull, it means with little colour or little light. With little interest, it's dull, it's grey and boring. It's not that I don't like school, it's just that it can be so dull. Drab. Drab. This is a synonym for dull. We sit in classes with drab textbooks and listen to uninteresting lectures. And finally, tedious. Tedious. This means boring, slow, monotonous, making you tired. I just find all of it so tedious. And this is true. I absolutely hated school.
सलाम। आप में से काफियों ने पूछा एक्सपर्ट ऑप्शन क्रिएट करना है, तो आइए।
Hated school. I wish I could be one of those people who says, "Oh, school's amazing. I love it. I have such fond memories." Nope, not for me. It was tedious. Okay, take a look at this very good boy. What is he? He's energetic. He reminds me of my good boy, Diego. Look who it is! It's my doggy! You could also say frisky. Frisky. If a dog is frisky, they are playful and full of energy. That brings up a common question I have about animals, whether we should call them he, she, it, or they. I personally, if I have a relationship or someone I know has a relationship with an animal, he or she or they is what I would use. They, if I don't know their gender, he or she, if it's a boy or a girl. It just seems very impersonal. In some countries, it will be more common. If I saw an ant on the floor, I would say it. It doesn't mean anything to me. But my cat, he is Alfonso. And my dog, he is Diego. Right, back to the lesson. My parents always wanted a frisky dog, but they had no idea how much energy Rocky would have. We also have lively. Lively. He's very lively and he needs time to exercise his legs daily. And spirited. Spirited. And aside from just being energetic, this implies that they are determined, full of spirit and ambition. I don't know if dogs can have ambitions, but they could definitely be determined. Luckily, Rocky's spirited attitude keeps them active. Okay, now we have this little boy. He doesn't look so friendly, does he? In fact, he looks pretty mean. He doesn't look like he's ready to play nicely with the other children. We have bitter. Bitter. If you're in a bad mood, you're bitter. If you're really cross about something. Johnny talked excitedly about going to the playground all week. However, he quickly turned bitter when he saw that the swings were closed. We have disgruntled. Disgruntled. He was disgruntled and no longer wanted to ride his bike. And finally, venomous. Venomous. If you think of the venom from a snake, oof, it's nasty. This means full of hatred or bad, mean feelings. He yelled out venomous words, as children often do in these situations. Okay, next picture. We have someone looking very brave, a firefighter. Instead of saying brave, we could say courageous. Courageous. Arthur is a courageous man. He puts his life on the line each day he goes to work. If you put your life on the line, your life is at risk. We have gallant. Gallant. He doesn't ask for praise, and his gallant efforts often go unnoticed. And finally, daring. Daring. Nevertheless, his daring job calls him to new challenges each day. Okay, let's look at the girl that's being hugged. She must be likable. People must like her. Easy to like. We have revered. Revered. It's a lovely word. What makes Candice such a good friend? Is it her revered, bubbly personality? We also have enviable. Enviable. And in most situations, this is positive. To be envied. Enviable. I think it's her enviable smile that always makes me feel comforted. And admirable. Admirable. To be admired. She also listens without judgment, which is admirable. Okay, next picture. Someone is making everyone laugh. They must be funny. We could also say amusing. Amusing. They amuse me. Brandon is so amusing. Next, Hilarious. Hilarious. This means very funny. He tells most hilarious stories and he's full of jokes. Finally, comical. Comical. He has such a comical way of speaking that always makes us laugh. Oh, look at this girl climbing such a steep ledge. She must be adventurous. Adventurous. Instead of adventurous, we could say bold. Bold. This is like a mixture of adventurous and brave. People often describe Yana as bold because of her thrill-seeking ways. If you're a thrill seeker, you seek thrills. You seek adrenaline. We also have intrepid. Intrepid. If you're intrepid, you're brave, you're not afraid of danger or difficulties. We often describe people as being intrepid explorers. It goes hand in hand with adventurous. She's definitely intrepid. I couldn't do half the things she does. And finally, audacious. Audacious. I love saying that word. I saw that she was rock climbing in Bali last week. I hope to be audacious one day. Okay, here we have someone riding a bike dressed as... Is he dressed as Big Bird from Sesame Street? You could say this behaviour is strange. It's not normal. We could call it peculiar. Peculiar. My boss had the peculiar idea of dressing up as Big Bird for a cycling race. We also have bizarre. Bizarre. He showed up in a bizarre costume, ready to cycle for 50 kilometres. Sounds dangerous. And finally, uncanny. Uncanny means strange, hard to explain. It's that kind of uncanny thinking that sets him apart. To set someone apart, to make them different. This makes him different. This sets him apart. Okay, we're done with another category. Let's move on to sensations. Oh, I love this picture, and it describes our first sensation. Tired. The dog and the man are tired. Instead of just saying tired, we can say bleary-eyed. Bleary-eyed. You know that sensation when you wake up and your eyes, you can't see properly. Bleary-eyed. Rex and Ali went out for a morning run. It was so early that Ali was bleary-eyed. I like to think that Rex is the dog and Ali is the human. Next we have weary. Weary. He felt weary as he walked back to his flat. We also have groggy. Groggy. It's that sort of unwell, not ill, but unwell feeling. You know, you really need to sleep. You're not quite at full capacity mentally or physically. Ali fell into his bed as groggy as ever, whilst Rex lay there waiting for his next adventure. Next, how is this girl feeling apart from elated for having such delicious food? She's probably feeling hungry. Even better would be to say famished. Famished. Oh, I'm famished. Isabella was famished. She hadn't eaten anything on the 10-hour flight. I have a joke for you. Why shouldn't you eat the meals served on airplanes? Because the food's too plain. Plain is short for aeroplane, or plain, spelled P-L-A-I-N, means bland. Back to the lesson. Enough joking around, guys. Come on. Calm down, please. Focus. We also have peckish. Peckish. This is where you want to pick things. You know, you don't feel really hungry, but you could eat. You'd like to eat. Oh, I feel peckish. Does anyone else feel peckish? I'd like to eat something. Peckish didn't begin to describe how she felt when she arrived at the night market. So she was more than peckish. She was famished. You could also say she was ravenous. Ravenous. Isabella knew what she wanted to eat and was ravenous by the time she bit into her tostada. Okay, how is this poor person feeling? Ill. We could also say they're feeling nauseous. Nauseous, and this is the way we describe the feeling of when you want to vomit. You want to be sick. My aunt woke up this morning feeling nauseous. We also have queasy. Queasy. This is feeling uneasy, especially in your stomach. She had a queasy feeling in her stomach and couldn't get out of bed. And finally, feverish. Feverish. This is to feel hot, like you have a fever, as a result of being ill or unwell. She felt feverish, so she lay in bed all day, allowing her body to rest. Next, we have this boy studying at the library, and he doesn't get it. He feels confused. confused. We could also say befuddled. Befuddled. Isn't that such a good word? Befuddled. The new engineer was befuddled by all the software he needed to use. We could also say foggy. Foggy. If your brain isn't clear, it has fog in it, like the weather. You know, the weather that impedes your view, like you're in a cloud. If your brain feels foggy, you could be confused, or you could find it hard to remember things or use your knowledge. Everything he had learnt in training was foggy in his mind. Finally, this one's very British. Baffled. Baffled. I'm confused. Baffled. Sometimes we use it in a sarcastic way. For example, if I failed an exam that I didn't study for, I might say, well, I'm baffled. I just don't know why I didn't pass. He hopped around from program to program, baffled by what he needed to do. He was confused. Okay, let's move on to colours. Colours. This one is great because I think at school we learn red, orange, yellow, pink, blue, but sometimes you don't learn the more interesting shades of colours. So I'm going to show you colours and then discuss the different ways that we can talk about them. Okay, let's start with this colour, black. Black. We could also say inky. Inky, like ink, which is normally black. Brad noticed the sand near the volcano was inky and resembled oil. We also have raven. Raven is the colour of that bird that's like a crow, a raven. It's often slightly more blue. Black with a hint of blue. He was tired from walking and laid down on the raven shore. Finally, onyx. Onyx, like the stone. He closed his eyes and became one with the onyx landscape. These are great words to use if you are interested in creative writing and you don't want to say black, black, black over and over again. You can use these alternatives. Next, these poppies are red. You could also say crimson. Crimson. This is a deep red. My mum and I love to collect crimson flowers in spring. An alternative, scarlet. Scarlet. This is a brighter red. She loves the scarlet hue of the petals as the sun passes through. The sun makes them a brighter red. They're more scarlet. And finally, we have ruby. This is a dark red, like the jewel.
Hey fashion lovers, check out these 3 showstoppers that'll make you the center of attention. First pick, party tracksuits for men. 2PC comfort set, ultimate comfort meets modern style. Breathable fabric plus sleek design. Perfect for gym sessions, weekend hangouts, or even chai time with friends. Stay sharp, stay comfy. Second pick, kids festive ready kurtas and shalwar.
Jewel. This is not a ruby, this is a sapphire, but they're in the same family. I think I prefer the ruby buds just before they bloom. The colour's very dark and concentrated. It's a ruby red. Next, let's talk about the sky. It's blue. Don't ask me why. I can't tell you that. I can teach you English though. Instead of saying blue, we could say sapphire. Sapphire, this type of jewel. Normally, sapphires are a lot darker than this one, but we fell in love with a lighter sapphire. But normally it's darker, dark blue. Normally it's a dark, bright blue. We had been driving for hours when we noticed the sky had turned a beautiful sapphire. We also could say denim. Denim, the colour of jeans. We pulled in to admire the denim clouds. And finally, navy. Navy. This is a very dark blue. The navy mountains in the distance looked as if they were from another planet. Next, look at this setup. It makes me nervous. I would definitely spill that coffee. White. An alternative to white is cream. This is like a warm white with a little bit of yellow added in, just a tiny bit, but it makes it much warmer than white. There's nothing better than curling up in my cream-coloured blanket on a Sunday afternoon. We also have pearl. This is white with a bit of shimmer. You know pearls? Oysters make them. Oysters? Yeah, oysters. My husband knows to bring me my tea in my pearl mug. Finally, we have off-white. Off-white. If we have normal bright white, off-white just has a little bit more grey in it. It's not quite bright. He never forgets to use the off-white tray he bought for me in Spain. Next, The colour of my hair and my top. Yellow. I can't say this room in the picture is to my style or liking, but it's there. We can say canary. Canary, the colour of that small yellow bird, canary yellow. It's a bright yellow. I have fond memories of my grandmother's house, especially the canary yellow tablecloth she used to use. We also have amber. Amber. I would say this is more orange than yellow, but it's not bright orange. It's like an orange, yellow, brown. It's the colour of that stone that's made from ancient resin. The walls of her kitchen were amber, scattered with beautiful artwork. And finally, buttery. Buttery, resembling the yellow colour of butter. She never cleaned her windows, so a buttery light shone through, creating an inviting atmosphere. This word is quite positive and warm and comforting if something's buttery. Next we have this picture of a forest in the autumn, or in fall, as they say in America, autumn in British English. It's brown. We could also say cinnamon, like the colour of the spice. This is like a reddier brown, more red. Cinnamon leaves covered the ground like a carpet. We also have ochre. Ochre, a light brown. The ochre trees wouldn't show signs of life for months. Finally, khaki. This is like a green brown, often used in the military for camouflage. The khaki canopy kept the forest cool and still. Finally, the colour of vegetation, green. Instead of green, we could say emerald. This is a dark, bright green, like the jewel. You had sapphire, ruby, emerald. My grandfather taught me how to garden. He showed me to look for emerald leaves because they were the most nutritious. We have olive, like olive tree leaves. This is like a grey-green. Some of the younger saplings had olive stems. Saplings are small plants, very young ones. Their colour wasn't developed, so they had a grey-green stem. And finally, jade. Jade. This is a bright green colour. It's like the stone, it's almost turquoise. Sometimes I would pluck a few of the beautifully coloured jade leaves of kale to snack on. Okay, let's move on to the next category. We have textures. Take a look at this picture, and in particular at the little girl's teddy. What must it feel like? Pretty soft. Instead of soft, you can say downy. Downy. My daughter never goes anywhere without her stuffed rabbit. Its downy fur helps her relax. You can also say velvety. Velvety, with the feeling of velvet. However, it's not as velvety as it once was. Finally, we have silky. Silky. This is smooth and soft. She likes stroking the label because it's really silky. Next, we have this picture. It's showing a car driving on a rough terrain, a rough road. Instead of rough, you could say rutted. Rutted, with lots of dips and bumps in it. Bill and Hannah are testing to see how well their camper will handle the rutted roads of the outback. Camper is short for camper van. You could also say bumpy. Bumpy. The bumpy terrain is going to be a challenge. You could also say pitted. Pitted, with lots of holes or pits in it. They will stay away from the most pitted areas to avoid damage to the van. Okay, next picture. We have someone ice skating, and we can call ice a smooth surface. No bumps, not rough. Instead of smooth, we could say sleek. Sleek. If someone's hair looks very smooth, we often call it sleek hair. In this case, Alexandra wished the ice was sleeker before beginning her routine. We could also say glassy. Glassy. Another word that's used in the beauty industry. She had a glassy complexion, almost shiny, smooth, perfect. Whenever she practiced, she ensured the rink was glassy without any imperfections. Finally, we can say polished. Polished, as if someone has polished it. They have made it smoother. Despite the ice not being as polished as she would like, she performed well. Next, we have this picture. sharp. The mountains look sharp. We have jagged, lots of sharp angles. Artem had always dreamed of seeing the jagged yellow mountains. And we have bristled with lots of points. It was all worth it as he looked out over the bristled landscape. Okay, let's look at this picture. The top layer has lots of bubbles. It is bubbly. We could also say effervescent. Effervescent. Pedro is obsessed with coffee, specifically the effervescent layer of milk on top. We also have frothy. Frothy. Rather than being just effervescent, this means that it's covered with a layer of bubbles. Though he doesn't like all frothy drinks, he'll drink coffee all day. Finally, we have foamy. Foamy. This is like frothy, but with much smaller bubbles. It's almost like a creamy foam. There's just something about a creamy, foamy latte that drives him crazy. Next, we have this picture. It shows chocolate, but it's being used as a liquid. It's liquid chocolate. Instead of saying liquid, which could sound a little bit strange, we have some better alternatives. We could say flowing. Flowing. There is flowing chocolate. It's a liquid moving continuously. Chef Pierre prepared his famous dessert with flowing chocolate sauce. We also have runny. Runny. If the chocolate runs, it's runny. We watched in amazement as the runny chocolate covered the pastry. Finally, we have fluid. Fluid. The fluid river of chocolate made our mouths water and we couldn't wait to dig in. Next, we have this word, sticky. Sticky. Her fingers must be sticky. Instead of sticky, we could say gooey. Gooey. This is sticky like glue. Ice cream is the perfect treat in summer, except when it melts into a gooey mess in your hand. Next, we have syrupy. Syrupy. Like a syrup. A syrup is usually made from water and sugar to make a thick, sticky liquid. You end up all syrupy, and a serviette doesn't even help. Finally, we have tacky. Tacky. It's when you try to pull your fingers or something apart and it sticks for a moment. You have to put effort in. Tacky. I end up looking for the nearest toilet to clear up the tacky mess. Next, we have this picture. These shoes are old and used. They're worn. Aside from that, we could say shabby. Shabby. A bit old, a bit tired, a bit used.